Welcome to ExcelBerry. In this video, I will teach you how to transform boring data into stunning art. For example, let's say you have data about how much quantities of berries that you've sold in a month divided into different countries. Then you could make PivotTable charts, and that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. Here I have made 3 different charts with slicers, so you could, for example, change the dates and all the charts will be changed correspondingly. You could change the country, for example, to only see one country, and also to only see, for example, one fruit. And with this visualization, you will make it so much easier to understand and react to the data, and that is probably what you want. Let's get through how you make these charts. But first of all, just some information about a PivotTable chart. It's great for dynamic data analysis because PivotTable charts allow you to quickly rearrange or reorganize your data, which makes it easy to analyze and explore different perspectives and trends. That's one why you should use a PivotTable chart instead of a regular chart. It's also more interactive with filtering and sorting. You can apply filter boxes and sorting options to display what's the most relevant information. And that makes it easier to focus on specific points or categories. Also, it's very easy to customize. You can easily modify the layout, the style, the format of a PivotTable chart. It's easier than a regular chart. And then we have a seamless integration with pivot tables. Since PivotTable charts are built on top of pivot tables, they inherit all of the powerful features of the pivot table, such as calculated fields. If you made a calculated field, that will also be integrated into the chart, and also the conditional formatting that you do. And that is why you should create a PivotTable chart instead of just a regular chart. Now let's make one. Here we have our data, and this is 1,000 different rows with data, and we only have the headings, fruit, date, company, and units. And here to the right, you see that I've made 2 different pivot tables out of this data. What we do is that we stand here in our data, go to the Insert tab, insert a pivot table, place it somewhere, for example, in an existing sheet, and we place it here. So here we have our pivot table 3. And now we drag and drop the headings into one of the boxes down here. For example, fruits, countries, and units. This is probably what we want to see. This is the same as the one here to the left. And now we press on it, and we will now see these 2 here in the ribbon, PivotTable Analyze and Design. If we press on PivotTable Analyze, we can insert a pivot chart. So here are our different options. Mostly you will probably use a column, a line chart, perhaps a combination of 2 of them. But let's stick with the pie chart for this one. Press on OK. Now we've created a PivotTable chart out of the data in the pivot table. If we change the pivot table, then also the chart will be changed correspondingly. And now it's up to us to design our pivot table chart into how we want it to look like. First, I usually go into the tab design up here, pick a design that I like, for example, this one here. And then we press on it again. We will have these 2 boxes up here to the right. The one here in the bottom is only for style and colors, but this one here is what kind of elements do we want to our pivot table chart. Here we have the title, and we probably do not want this right now. We take it away, and we have the legends here to the right. If you go here to the arrow, you'll see that you have different options where to place the legend, And also you have more options here in the bottom. And this will open up the box here to the right. And here you have more options to how you could customize the format for the legend. And that is what I used when I did my chart on the first page. What I did was that I removed the legend and added data labels. Here you have the units for each of the berries. And I went to the arrow, more options. And then here with this one, you have label options. And you press on label options. And these are the different options for what the label should contain. And I changed the values to be percentage. And I also added the category name. And I wanted to place it outside because it's easier to see all of the name. And then we close it. And this is a pretty nice PivotTable chart. And to this chart, you can add slicers. So you press on it, go to the Pivot Chart Analyze, and add a slicer. And also you can add a timeline. Before you are able to add a timeline, you need the dates to be as dates. So before, you need to make sure that the C column are formatted as date. Otherwise, you will not have the option to add a timeline to your PivotTable chart. Let's go up here again, insert a timeline. Yes, it's our dates up here. Here we will have a timeline. You can see it's now months. That's månader in Swedish. We have years, quarter, months, and days. So you could change this if you want to have, for example, years or days or whatever time frame you want. Let's have it like days, and we go back, go to Pivot Chart Analyze, insert the slicer, and the slicer are the different options that you can press on to only see the data of the options that you pressed on. For example, if you have a slicer of fruit and you select strawberry, you will only have a pie chart of strawberry. If you hold the control button, you could add multiple berries at the same time. For example, if you want to have 4 berries, if you hold the control, press on blueberry, you'll only have 3 berries. Now we have added 2 different slicers to our chart. Now let's make another chart and make the connection with the slicers to work for both of them. We go to our data, press on insert, PivotTable. Yes, this is our data. We want to place it here to the right. And we now take fruit, date, and units. Let's click on the date, field settings, and then number format. And we can now see that it's a date, and this is how it looks like. We could also change this to be, instead of and or, that's year in Swedish, month and day, we could have it like this. So it's year, year, month, month, date, date. So not 4 digits. Press on OK, press on OK. And let's make a pivot chart out of it, make a line chart, and press on OK. If it's structured like this, you will have first the fruit and then the different days. If we change it to be first the date and then the different fruits, we could have it like this. Probably we want to place the fruit into the legend instead here. Here we can see that we have a timeline for each fruit. What we want to do now is to make sure that the timeline down here works for this one as well. What we do is we right click on it, go to report connections, and then we add this pivot table here to our connections down here. There are different options to see the name of our chart. For example, we can right click on it, pivot chart options, and here it is, PivotTable 4. Let's go to our timeline and then report connections, PivotTable 4. Let's add it here. what will happen is that when we change the date, for example, the 1st to the 7th, it will also change this chart. And now we change the design to a design that we want. Maybe we do not want these dots here, so we change the type to be a type that's just lines. See now that you do not have 1,000 separator here. What we do now is that we click on the sum of units, value field settings, number format, change it to a number format with 0 decimals, but use 1,000 separator. Press on OK, and now we will have the 1,000 separators here as well. You could also change the text here. Right click on it, format axis, then this box here to the right will appear, and you have this one, size and properties, and here is the text direction. It's horizontal, or you could change it to be rotated like this, or make it horizontal with a custom angle of, for example, I'd use -45 or something. This is much easier to see the dates, or perhaps 60. You have so many different options to customize the chart to look however you want it to look like. And then you could just press on it and cut it, Ctrl X, and place it in a new sheet. So here we have our data again. Let's take all of them, place them here, and rearrange them however you want to. And this we also need to report connection and add the pivot table for here. So now you have 2 charts for your data, which visualize the data much better. And that is how you transform boring data into stunning art. Hopefully Picasso would have been proud. And that's all I wanted to show you in this video. Please subscribe if you want to learn even more in Excel, like if you learned something, and go my Excel course on excelberry.com. Thank you.